Hello and welcome back to the Coach's Hour. Future Him here, and as promised, this is part 2 of the podcast with Paul. For all of you crazy people who enjoy sitting on the toilet listening to this with pins and needles, you might want to wait for next week where we're going to post up the full episode in one long podcast. But for those of our listeners who are less psychotic, I hope you enjoy part 2.
You know, I just wasn't surrounded by people who really had a career doing this. There were, people scraping by, getting by on a couple of grand, $3,000 a month. If someone was doing more than $3,000 a month, they were balling, right? Kind of thing. And there weren't many people doing it who were a bit older. It was kind of like...
That's what I said last time. I said that you don't really see old PTs.
No.
Like beyond like 40-ish, it's very few and far. So you don't know, like, no one tells you like, oh shit, you got to think about this. You got to think about this. Just, I feel like we are the first
generation
of PT to be older and do it.
It's not been a serious job for a long time. Like I remember, like people, you say you're going to be a PT, and you'd get laughed out the room, get a real job. And I think now, and it's more so like with social media developing as well. So people, sometimes it's a full stream, but sometimes there are successful people. So people now like, actually, I can do this for the long term and get something from it. So I think us being the first generation of that is coinciding with the advancements in technology that allow you to access more people.
Yeah, I think, I'm also grateful though that I didn't grow up with social media being
100%.
such a big part of my early years, because I spoke and believed some bollocks. So much bollocks, and did so many dumb things with clients. The first circuits class I ever took, which I was stoked to take, I threw a med ball into a girl's face and made her nose bleed.
You'd been on someone's CCTV, cancelled straight away.
Mate. And then I went to demo a squat on a BOSU ball and fell off the BOSU ball, right? Within 5 minutes of the start of the first circuits class I was taking, I was like, this is the worst start that you could hope for. No one really would, unless I speak about it a bit, but no one would ever know that now. That's not documented. That's not a part of my Instagram history. That's not all of these things. So, when you are new and starting out and you don't know anything and you haven't got these role models and you're trying to figure it all out, you're going to make a load of mistakes and you're going to believe some bullshit, and you're not going to be the coach that you should be, because the courses that we do to qualify for this are crap. And so then you need to find good people that you can spend your time around. I think the internet is both a blessing and a curse for that, because I see so many young coaches feeling shit about themselves because they just follow the outliers. They follow the really successful coaches, the people earning loads of money or doing really well, and they think, I should be able to do that because that person makes it look easy. And they don't see the 50,000 other PTs in the UK that are not doing that are barely scraping by. And so they just feel like they're this massive failure. It's like, you're not, you're the norm, right? This is entirely the norm. But you're being misled sometimes into how easy it is if you're trying to go online to make that work. And you're not around people who show you genuinely how it's done and how to be great at this job. And therefore what can financially follow eventually from being great at the job.
I think that's the same with everything, like even physique as well. Like we're so accustomed to seeing these incredible physiques on social media now, right? And then you're like, these unique people who are like 15, who are like jacked.
Yeah, some bullshit.
People are like...
See Phil Heath when he was like 16. There's like some pictures of him where you're like, I'm going home.
And then people are like, oh yeah, I can be like that. I should be like that. And it's like, no. You should be like all the other people who don't post their physique shots because they look like shit.
Yeah.
Because we all do at that age.
But I think with that as well, like you mentioned a good point about social media or internet not being around like a while ago. And there are a lot of people that I believe, because I've seen a couple in real life, which makes me think there's more of it, that have a reputation. And it's like, I'm not going to name drop. I'm going to behave myself today. I'm going to behave myself. But like I've got 1,000 transformations. I'm now a business mentor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they were PTing at a time where there was no proof of their thousands of transformations or whatever it is, and there will never be proof.
1,000 transformations is really hard. That's a lot. I haven't got 1,000 transformations. 1,000 transformations? I don't think I've worked with 1,000
I think
people.
even 100 is...
100's a lot.
I went through the other day because on our last recording we spoke about people that make some wild claims, and I was like, I've got 25 photo shoots, and I'm really proud of that. And I'm like, I've seen people be like hundreds of, and I'm like, anyway,
you go on their page as well. You're like,
exactly.
I don't know.
Where's this 100?
I can't even find one.
It's just them. Their meaty physique. But I think the thing I'm saying is like with a lot of people that are a little bit older now as well. Like now, if someone makes a claim, they have to back it up with something on social media, and it's getting harder with AI and things like that. But before, like now, there's people that have made claims, and it's like they've got a reputation and a status, and people are following them based off those claims when there is nothing to back it up. And it's like there's this imposter syndrome because it's like, I'm not where insert this person is.
Yeah.
This person's got hundreds of transformations when they were a PT, and it's like, nah, I know they don't. Yeah, I know exactly. I know, and I know what really happened when they were doing 50 sessions a week on a gym floor. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like when they were going through prep and on the gym floor, like you were handing your clients off. Don't come online now and say, I was going through prep and I was handling my client base, and it's like,
no, you weren't.
Yeah,
you were sleeping out the back.
Exactly on the assessment couch.
Yeah.
So like I think it's easy now for people that maybe haven't deserved a reputation, and I'm not saying it's everyone.
No, it's
to
not
have a reputation.
Well, there's this weird thing, isn't it? It's like there's like a certain illusion of success you can give that if you give it well enough, gets people to believe that that's genuine, and then you actually have this odd level of then success from kidding people that you had this previous success. Like, look, I'm gonna be like him, right? Just because he's getting specific. I always enjoy saying I want to be like him because it makes it sound like I'm slagging off him. Him is this fake transformation guy. But yeah,
100 transformations.
Yeah, exactly. Thousands of transformations, man.
Millions.
Yeah. So he transformed all of China. He told me. He called it the Great Leap Forward. It was weird.
Yeah.
People just say this stuff now, and they don't actually think about what they're saying. I feel like they make these claims, and it's like,
because
this is mad, you know.
It sounds like, if you don't actually break it down, it sounds believable. Yeah. Like if someone just says 1,000 transformations, because people have thousands of followers now. If someone's got 200k followers and they say 1,000, it's like, that's just 0.5% of their followers. Okay, that's reasonable. But to actually coach 1,000 people,
when you actually get a transformation,
in a one-to-one sense, that
even in a group sense,
even
in a group sense, how are you coaching 1,000 people in 10 years? It's crazy.
It's a madness, isn't it?
Yeah, like I know some. You guys know Rachel Henley?
Yeah.
So Rachel.
But is that a company? Is that?
But she's not like one-to-one coaching those people. She has a bunch of coaches.
She's got some coaches that are under her, right? So it's like that's like UP saying they got like Nick Mitchell didn't get those transformations. Like the people that work
the company.
for him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's under that umbrella. And I mean,
and that's because there's so many people.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's contributing to 50 transformations.
And for the record, Rachel's great, and what those guys do is awesome. But like for an individual to have to coach 1,000 people, that's meant. I'm not going to remember all those names. Yeah. She like
barely remember the 5 that I got.
Who's this guy?
When's your birthday again?
Yeah, it's mental. I also think coaches often feel bad for thinking that they should have these really impressive visual transformations with all of their clients. So no, like most people who hire a PT, especially in person, but you can we'll maybe talk more about it for the online sense. They don't want that. They're not willing. You're not going to get them a 6-pack and get shredded. You have to attract people who really want to do that type of thing to get that kind of result. That's not an accidental result that your average accountant can get. And the only reason you're not getting it is because your programming isn't good enough. Like, no. Like the average person wants to lose 5 to 15 kilos. Now, I think most coaches are still crap at that bit too, right? And so we need to develop the skills so that they can get those people on board and not just, well, I told them what to do. Why didn't they follow it? Like, that's not coaching. That's just telling people stuff, right? Like coaching is helping them actually figure out the ways of doing it and getting to know them and their life and coming up with strategies that might stand a chance of working and all the stuff that goes into that. But you shouldn't, when I was in person for those 13, I've been a PT 16 years and those 13 first years of in person, it's like I've got 6 or 7 really impressive visual transformations from that period of time.
You've got more transformations as an online coach
loads more
than in person, right? Yeah. I think I'm the same.
Yeah, but it doesn't make the impact different. It's just it's the
that
impact
was a perfectly successful in-person career.
Yeah.
Then I think Also, it's way easier to have a successful in-person career. Like, I think 90% of in-person PTs can earn 5, 6, maybe 7K a month after a few years of doing it if they do the right things. They're consistent.
Yeah, people have been doing it for time, man.
Yeah. Like, whereas online, I actually think is less than 10%, probably.
Wild West out there online.
Yeah. It takes half of any successful coaching business is about building a relationship with people and getting people to buy into you and start to trust you and see you as a bit of an authority who can help them and all the rest. Online, in order to do that, I have to be great at making content that you want to watch, that resonates with you, that feels like, that's good. And then I have to do that for years on end, usually, before you've built into me enough to go, I'm going to pay him money. Like, I usually ask most new coaches who come on board, like, how long you follow me for? The average answer is like 1 to 2 years. You get some 3-6 monthers, and you get some that are like 5 years or whatever. And usually like, it's you know how much content I've had to make to get you to pay me cash. It's fucking loads. Whereas in person, I've had clients within 5 minutes of meeting them and having a decent chat and being like, getting on, it seems decent. You thought about PT before? I'm like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. You're like, I want a free session, see if it's any good for you. Yeah, boom, done, right? Like, you don't want a client online if they try and sign up after 5 minutes of following you. You don't. They're a weirdo. They're a fucking weird psycho-human. Like, you're not, no, what's wrong with you? No. Like, that's not how it works. So the skills that you need to make it work online and the length of time you have to do it for and the frustration you will go through and the fact that the average client like retention rate online, the length of time they stay with you, is lower online than it is in person. Just is, right? I had clients who stayed with me in person for well over a decade. And I think I calculated how much Jono paid me once. And it was like 85K or something. There is not a single transformation on my page that is worth £85,000 to me, right? But Jono, when he first started with us, lost, I think, like 10 kilos in 3 to 6 months, something like that. And then looked no different for the next 10 years. He looked exactly the same through the whole time. He would turn up to sessions. It was like, senior partner at EY, one of the big accountancy firms. And he would turn up from like client lunches, having sunk a few whiskeys and had a fag, right? And I'm like,
shirt undone.
Yeah, I was like, should we train arms today, John? I was like, yeah, all right, fine. Right? Like, that's the reality of some of that job. And that's not doing a bad job. There's nothing I could have said to him. There's not like a magic phrase that I could have, if I'd have just said this, he would have transformed his life and he'd have got shredded. It's like, no, he fucking wouldn't. But I delivered what he wanted and he was happy with, so that he paid me £85,000. That's good for both me and him, right? Especially for me.
More so for me. More so for me.
So like, I just think coaches have distorted expectations for what sometimes good coaching is, what their career is going to look like, what financially they can earn. And I just can't stress finding good people as mentors and role models in your career enough. And that's where it's hard, because I do think the industry is a wild west for people making all kinds of bold claims that are just based on nonsense.
That's why I always feel like, when someone's been around the industry for a long time, you just know, like, the way they speak, like the experiences, it's just it's so vastly different. Someone who hasn't been in the industry for long, they don't know these kind of things, and they have that expectation of, something wildly different. Yeah.
So it's tough. Like, I have sympathy for young coaches as they're starting.
It's definitely a lot harder now, I feel like, because there's just so much more randomness. You get called out for different shit when you're young. Yeah, and
you get called out. You'll definitely get called out online these days.
Yeah, you can't make a mistake at all. Yeah. Like, as a young PT, I've seen some kids getting. I've had to jump in the comments and just say a little defensive, and I'm like, just leave him.
He's 19.
Yeah, literally, he's been in 2 weeks.
And he discovered wanking 5 years ago.
He's new to everything. Like, it's crazy. So you have to give people a little bit of slack and then 100%. Understand.
Yeah, there's very little generosity of spirit online.
Yeah. Should we take a pause there?
Yeah.
I know we went off topic there a bit.
But we didn't do that much financial.
Finances, get an accountant. That's what we're going to say to you.
Get an accountant.
And when you can, move to Dubai.
Yeah, there's definitely that. Well, I would say, if you want a little bit on that. Right, so just use ChatGPT and start putting in. If you're in your 20s, you start putting 250 quid a month into a pension, what that accumulates to by the time you're 50, 60 something. Strive to stay, if you can build your business to the point that you've got £1,000 a month to invest into stuff, So you put £1,000 away for tax, something like that. You've got, so let's say someone's earning 5K a month. Their gym rent's 500 quid or whatever it is. Their own rent really depends whether they're still living at home.
Two
or,
grand.
Yeah, or where they're kind of living, because that shit can be anywhere from, like when I was in London, at the end, my 2-bed flat was £2,000 a month.
Terrible.
Living the dream.
Mad.
Yeah, I know. It's great, isn't it? I do not miss living in London as a result of that.
But this is what I mean. Like, I went to Singapore, right? And mate, I was scraping by as well when I first started with a wage at UP. But man, I just didn't live beyond my means. Like, I fucking rented like this house I shared with like this Vietnamese lady with her kid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
They didn't even know him was there. He was just hiding.
Just in
He was just in a closet.
and it's just like, yeah, man. Sometimes you just go be under the cupboard, under the stairs, like Harry Potter for a bit, and it's just like this is how.
Gotta take your lessons from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like, I think a lot of people spend beyond, like, way beyond their means.
Yeah. So, let's say, I don't know, if you're earning 5, let's say 2K of that is your just expenses for rent, gym rent, living, blah, 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 blah. All right, you got 3K left over. 1K of it's for tax. Just put that away for tax. So you got 2K left to jizz on stuff and save, right?
Jordans.
Yeah, literally, right? Well, just make £1,000 of that put into some sensible things. And you can look up financial advice if you want. But, I don't know, if I had £1,000, I'd probably put 250 into a pension, 500 into some kind of stocks and sharesy thing. I'd make sure I had about £3,000 for a rainy day fund and actually make sure I've got that. And then I've got another 250 to put into, make sure that rainy day fund's there, or I could put a bit more into the pension or a bit more into my, you say you got a lifetime ISA or some shit kind of like that or whatever it is. Like, but you'll ignore this if you're young, because I did too. But was the kind of advice you just give people anyway, and mostly they ignore unless they're working with you directly. Yep. But God, start putting £1,000 away into just sensible choices.
And when they do realize, you just look at them.
Yeah, because then that tax bill comes around in January and you're like, I owe £9,000 and I've got 3. You're like, well, you're going to have a shit few months then in that case, because you needed to put that away in advance.
Yep, 100%. And I can testament to that because it was gone.
Yeah.
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 So,
I mean, I've had it before where I had what I thought I needed put away. And then I got stung with the student loan that I forgot that I needed to repay because I'd just been like ignoring that. And I was like, why have I got another £5,000 to pay? I thought I had exactly what I needed put away in my tax space. No. I was missing the student loan. I was like, well, this sucks. I mean, again, thankfully, there's a rainy day fund and I've been saving money. So it was easy enough to cover. But yeah, like if you've get to 5K a month, use £1,000 for tax savings and £1,000 for saving sensibly, and then you can do what you like with the rest. Go and do the RTS course. Make a list of holidays you want to go on. My advice for most PTs is take a holiday once a quarter because you'll burn out quite quick. And you should also go to an education event once a quarter, in person ideally, because I would usually say that the easiest way to kill your passion for something is to turn it into a career. And everyone gets into fitness because they love something about fitness. It's like, when you spent years a bit mentally not very stimulated, not around people who inspire you to be that much better, it gets a bit Groundhog Day. You're watching your 8,000th set of squats. You're bored of what'd you get up to on the weekend, and talking about the football game last night for the 900th time that week. And, the passion starts to die a little bit if you're not careful. But if you go to good in-person education stuff, you always leave with a bit more enthusiasm that honestly only lasts for about a week after the event, but it's still something. But your skills develop a little bit more as well, and that gradually helps. And you meet this network of other trainers at those events that inspire you to do more. And in 10 years, those people you meet at these events now sometimes are some of the bigger names in an industry that open doors for you to do other shit too. So yeah, within the finances stuff, it's like, get a list of courses that you want to go and do and people you trust and like to work with that sound like they're not full of shit and aren't promising the sun immediately, because that's not happening. And start going to them. Holiday once a quarter, education event once a quarter, £1,000 a month into some savings of sensible shit. You'll be in a good place in a few years. And
I will caveat that with the courses we are speaking about, or I'm speaking about, I won't speak for you, Paul, but you don't need a business mentor course at that stage of your career.
No.
It's development of your craft, because a lot of people now, I hate on the story, time for some education, and it's a business course and you've got zero credibility.
Yeah.
no testimonials,
Yeah.
no results, whatever
Yeah.
the result is. And it's like, that is not your education. Your education is development of your craft. So
Yeah, but they got YouTube for that. It's free.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube Premium.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I pay $16.99 a month.
Straight. That's expenses right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Tax
That is
efficient.
actually one of my expenses. I'm like, yeah, my YouTube Premium isn't expensive.
It actually is, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you for that one.
No worries.
All right, that's a wrap. So, Paul, do you have anything that you want to plug before we say goodbye?
No.
All right. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. And always, you can find me on socials. I'm at Gym with him. My co-host Jawade is at Jawade Graham Coach, and our special guest today is at Paul_Standell. And we'll catch you all next time on the Coach's Hour. Bye bye.
Peace.